This city is missing one thing: a massive entertainment district designed to make people spend as much money as possible. And in true Las Vegas fashion, that means arenas, hotels, restaurants, nightlife, and just enough attractions to keep everyone trapped. So today we're going to take all of this empty land and turn it into a Las Vegas-style entertainment machine. And this entertainment district is going to start with the Kia Forum. I want to place this right beside this hotel, and that's because I'm going to use this to help me frame my anchor. I want the focal point of this entire district to be a pedestrian road. So I'm going to run this right beside the Kia Forum, and this is going to be a little bit chaotic, but don't worry and trust the process. I'm going to pull this pedestrian road to right about here, because now it's time to do something really interesting. So first, I need a straight segment to snap an asset to, and we're going to be spending so much money. I want to take the $1.6 million Fountain Plaza and place that directly in the middle. Now we can delete these two, and I want to wrap a pedestrian road in a circle as close as I can get to it. Actually, that's pretty good. I think that's perfect. Now I need this to be close to the pedestrian path for one reason. I'm going to place a building right in the center. Let's unlock tourist attractions, and I want to place the Western Observation Tower right in the center. We just need to see that little line connect into the road. And we're so close, but so far. This is really important though, because this is going to be my focal point. And I really wanted both of these assets to be functional, but unfortunately, no matter how much I tried, I just wasn't able to give this road access. So this is a non-functional variant, but watch what happens when we click play. We get the water that shoots up, and it makes this place feel really special. I don't know how to solve the water shooting up in the middle though, so that's something that I'm going to ignore forever. Now it's really important to me that the pedestrian road is the key road for this entire district, because I want the people to drop their car off wherever and then walk in this district and stay walking. Because if you're walking, then it's much easier to keep you trapped. Now I'm just going to connect this into our main road. Now we're going to take this one step further and elevate it again. So I want to make one more circle, and I want to make sure that we have enough room to add in a few pocket parks, which means I want to go out 4 units. Now let's add a whole bunch of these pocket parks right into the middle of the circle. I'm going to save all the detailing for the end, but it's looking really good so far. All we have is the Observation Tower, the Fountain Plaza, and the Kia Forum. And that's not good enough. I want to take this to the extreme. So we have the Ice Flake Arena, and it also comes with some nice boosts. I'm going to place this right beside the Kia Forum. And that gives us milestone 12. We are now a large city. And that's actually really helpful, because we unlocked a few signature buildings that we're going to need. Now we have the Kia Forum, the Ice Flake Arena, and I also want to add in the Loading.com Arena. And I'm going to place it right on top of this hill. And before I even think about adding roads or anything else, let's continue to place even more attractions. This should be the ultimate entertainment district no matter who you are. Actually, let's take the YPF Tower, and we'll place it right beside the Ice Flake Arena. And then beside this, let's add in the Grand Hotel. That is honestly going to be really nice. Now once we have you in town, you have a place to stay. And the water park should be a really good fit too, because it gives us a really big boost to summer season recreation. And we have this hotel right here. We might as well add the water park right across from the beach. And I wonder, if I keep stacking these tourist attractions, how many tourists are we going to end up with? Right now we have 416 per month, so we'll check back in once we're done. But with that in mind, let's also add in the Botanical Garden, and we'll place that right across from our hotel. And right beside the Botanical Garden, let's add in the Jacoby Church. I do think we are going to need a few more hotels though, and I'll get these further away from all of our attractions, because this is the rich people hotel, and then this hotel would be for the people who aren't as rich. I'm going to give all of these a little bit of space from the road, that way we can add in a bit of parking. And again, I really want to plan this district around the pedestrian road, which is why I'll do all of the actual car roads once we have all of our key buildings in. We have these more car-centric parks, And I think these are going to be an amazing fit right near our main road. So let's add in the game set match, the sports hub pavilion, apex climbing. And buildings like these are going to be really important because I don't want people to come here just for the sports events. I want them to also have a reason to stay in this district. So these 3 parks are definitely going to help, but we can take this a step further. Let's add in the Cinevista, which is just a movie theater, this bowling alley, and then the Sunset Brewery. Yes, this is going to be perfect. And we are going to need some nightlife. So here is the Eclipse nightlife. And I never thought I'd see the day where I use the majority of these leisure venues. Here's a cafe. And last but not least, we only have room for one more thing, so we'll add in gelato. And it's really starting to come together, but we still have way too much green space. So let's also add in the conference center and the oceanarium. This is going to be a great building, but I feel like it's got to go on our beachfront. So let's quickly show the beachfront some love too. Because after you're done being entertained, you can come to our beautiful beach and spend even more money and entertain yourself even more. So we'll add in 5 of these tea lounges, and I could also see these being mixed use, so maybe some lucky person lives there. I want to maintain the terracing that we're doing, so I'm going to lift all of these up and flatten it all out. That was all so that I could add in the oceanarium, but I think this oceanarium is going to look a lot nicer if it faces the water. I'm going to extend this pedestrian road all the way out, and now let's get this building placed in right there, and that's going to do a whole bunch of wonky things. So we're going to continue our terracing, but I want to move this over. That way we can send this pedestrian road all the way down to our beachfront. Now the oceanarium is pretty cool, but it's still not enough. I think we can take this a step further, and I know just the right assets. And that's going to be the Parkside Cafe, the Park View Eatery, the Pavilion Restaurant, the Old Ferris Ride Park, the Merry Merry-Go-Round Carousel Park, and then a large lighthouse right here, and finally my favorite, the Spin Vista Park. Now if we take the Skylines Heritage Museum, this could essentially operate as the main building where maybe you'd buy tickets, I don't know, but I think it's going to look really good as a main hub building for the rest of these buildings. Of course, we still have to provide access to this one. Now I want to continue this pedestrian road all along the beach until we get to right about here, which is when I'll curve into our main road. And we'll make sure to add one more connection right here and flip that around. Now I'm going to get rid of all of the trees on all of these assets. And I'm going to do that because I want to connect these paths in, so I want to be able to actually see what I'm doing, but also because we're going to add some palm trees instead. There's a few more things that I think we need. First, we'll have the Sunshine Hotel, and I think that's going to work really well right across from the Kia Forum. In fact, let's add in 2 more. And now all we're missing is a bit of waterfront commercial. And while that's filling in, I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup here. It's really important that this area is attractive. Otherwise, no one is going to want to come and stay. And that is looking really, really good. It completely elevates the beachfront. So with that done, it's time to... Oh wait, the lighthouse. I completely forgot to give this road access. So I'm going to say goodbye to the lighthouse for now, because it's time to get back to work on the entertainment district. We're going to have to extend the pedestrian road out, and I want to get that right between these buildings. Now for these buildings, I will have to do their main roads first, because there's a key rule that I want to follow. If I'm going to provide car access to these buildings, I want these to be very constrained. So in the back, we have these loading docks, which is why we're going to give access right here. I'll make a nice gentle curve and connect back into our beachfront road. But I'm not going to continue sending it through, because each building is going to have its own individual road access. And if it doesn't need road access, for example this building here, I'm going to send the pedestrian road right in front of it, and we'll connect back in with our main pedestrian road. This building does have a car garage though, so let's get this connected into our main road. And this building over here is an arena, so we need to provide some type of car access. So what I'm going to do is flatten all of this out. We'll make all of it a retaining wall, and we'll provide that secondary access right here. And I'll make this a cul-de-sac. Now I'm just going to quickly clean all of this up. And now we are going to need some parking, because I have added so many buildings, but no parking yet. I'm going to try my best to make this efficient, but I don't want to entirely destroy the view of the water. So I'm going to use these small parking buildings, and if they all front this road, it's going to create a massive traffic problem. So I'm going to extend this road out, flip this around, and we'll have 4 of them front each side road. And honestly, it looks like a lot of parking, but it's really not. Each of these only has 42 parking spaces. But I don't want to go any more crazy than this. Now, the Grand Hotel is one of those beautiful buildings that do require road access. So I'm going to flip it around. We'll push it back. I'll snap the pedestrian road to the front, and then I'll use an alleyway to connect back into our main road. And very quickly, I need to make these one-ways. Now we're going to get this pedestrian road connected back into our main one, and we'll branch this off and send it alongside the botanical garden. And these buildings are also going to need access to a road. And I want to make sure that there is pedestrian access, so we'll snap this path right on the side. Now let's send this pedestrian road all the way down and meet back up with one of our main roads. And this is what I meant earlier when I said trust the process, because it is starting to shape up really nicely now. There's only a few more buildings that we have to provide road access to, so let's start with the Kia form. What I want to do with this one is wrap the pedestrian road all the way around it, and we're going to set everything to be the exact same height. But the tricky thing about this building is that it requires 8 connections. And I really don't want to provide 8 road connections. So let's delete all of this parking, and with a little bit of luck, this won't actually break the asset. Now what we can do instead is branch these connections into our pedestrian road. And can you guys stop driving on the pedestrian road? That would be great. Look at these pedestrians just trying to walk in peace. Where are you even going? Why are you going here? You are gonna park. Greg Hamilton, your household wealth is wretched. Gee, I wonder why your household wealth is so bad. Definitely lots of responsible financial decisions there. So I'm gonna make a few more branching movements. We'll have one that'll flow into the existing pedestrian path. And just look at all the traffic, you love to see it. What I don't love to see is whatever this is. How about a nice little key wall for your troubles? And that looks really bad. No, where'd the road go? No, I didn't mean to do that. I deleted the entire road? I swear, sometimes I amaze myself. There, that should look a little bit better. Now we'll make one more pedestrian connection. Now, whether we like it or not, the Kia form will be attracting an insane amount of people, which means we're gonna need an insane amount of parking. But obviously, I want this to be a pedestrian entertainment district first, and then cars last. So I'm gonna pull all of this commercial closer to the main road, and also fix all their heights, and flatten this out. Now I wanna use this 2-lane road, and send a connection right alongside this building. And this really isn't meant to be a road that you're zooming down, so I'm gonna have these really tight curves, and we'll provide access to all of our commercial. Now, all of this was for a secondary reason. This is going to help us add our parking, and I really don't want this to be taller than our main buildings, which is why I'm going to place it at the bottom of the hill. And I want to make sure that I'm connecting our pedestrian road into this back road. It's all about getting the pedestrians into the district and trapping them. So I will add in one more, and I'm going to squeeze it right beside this one. And that means we're going to have to branch an alleyway off. I think it's very important that we protect the citizens though. And at this point in time, I'm starting to fear that they might drive into this pedestrian road. So here is a nice thick line of trees saying, please, don't come across. Now when we click play, all of these buildings should be ready to go. There's only a few more buildings that we have to connect in. We have the water park, which I placed very close to the hotel. And there's our access for the water park, plus a little bit of parking for the hotel. Now we just gotta get these buildings connected in. This does need pedestrian access though, so I'm just gonna snake this pedestrian road all the way down, and we'll make 2 connections, one for going forward, one for coming in. And while this is still fresh on my mind, we need to add park maintenance. And I'm going to place this right behind some of our car-centric uses. And it's going to front this pedestrian road because it's perfectly fine if these vehicles are driving on our roads. These vehicles are meant to. I'm really loving to see how many people are walking down these pedestrian roads. Jackie Carter, you kind of scare me. Now all we have to do is connect in our hotels and the loading.com arena. Now getting these connected is going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience, because I just want to use this alleyway, and then I'll pull some of these back, just make sure they have a bunch of space. And now these should have access to utilities, and all I had to do was delete them and replace them in. They're already making $95K per month in profit. Wow, this one's doing $131K? That's a bit interesting considering that they have 0 customers. Not really sure where that profit's coming from. Now for the loading.com arena, this one does have the road connection right in front of the building, so unfortunately I will have to make this one slightly more car-centric. This arena still doesn't have a proper pedestrian-only connection, so let's run this pedestrian path right alongside the building. And now I'm going to quickly build out a little bit of parking for this facility. And with our parking done, I want to use all of this extra space for a whole bunch of waterfront commercial. Now while that's filling in, I just had an interesting idea. So obviously we don't have casinos in the game, and that really sucks when you're trying to build an entertainment district that's meant to be like Las Vegas. And so I spent forever trying to look for a building that could almost be a casino. And that's when I realized the answer was staring me in the face. We're going to use this conference center as our casino. And instead of it fronting our main plaza, let's have it front this pedestrian road instead. And to formalize it, I'm going to change its name to the Red Loon Casino. And if you want to get even more crazy with me, let's place a Red Loon right on top. And you know what? The Red Loon just isn't selling it to me. So we'll do something like that. Now let's give some road access to the back of this building. Now I really do like how all of this is turning out, but we still have so much space to work with. So I'm gonna have to start getting creative, which means I need to think of all of these parcels as their own individual areas. And so I'm going to think of this one here as the park district. So I know we have a water park right here, but let's add in a community pool right beside it. And I'll also make a tiny pedestrian connection there, and one more here. And that looks so bad. You're gonna be breaking your legs getting up here. And that looks even worse. It's okay though, because I have a brilliant idea. And that's not perfect, but it's not bad. And at least now we have that pedestrian connection. And I'll send this pedestrian path all the way down to connect back up with our pedestrian road. And this is literally driving me insane. Okay, yeah, that's fine, that's cool. You know what, this area doesn't need a retaining wall, because we can just smooth it out and call it a day. And that right there is perfect. Now for the parks, we have this contemporary barbecue and picnic area, and I just think it's gonna look really good right here. And you know, I was thinking park area, but maybe this is just a place where you come drink, because this really just seems like an outside bar to me. And until detailing, that's where I'm going to leave the outside bar off. Now this is where we're going to have the park district. So there's 4 tennis courts, and then on this side we're going to add in a whole bunch of basketball. Now let's get rid of all of the prison fences and all of these prison lights. And apparently we're going to get rid of the decals too. That's fine though, because I'm going to add in my own custom ones in a second. And I'll also replace the fence with something a bit more upscale. Alright, so here's our basketball courts and our tennis courts. And I also decided to add in a few extra volleyball courts and a whole bunch of outdoor gyms. And we still have quite a bit of open space, but there is a few buildings that I definitely know that I want to add in. Starting with the yet full condos. This is a mixed-use building, but it fits perfectly into this lot, and I see it more as a hotel than anything else. But our hotels aren't doing too well. All 4 of these have not enough customers, and the hotels on this side are barely filling in all of the rooms that they have available. So I'm gonna use my imagination. But we don't have anywhere for people to spend money, which is where this middle lot is gonna come into play. And the Bait and Bistro is a really good asset, but I think this one needs to belong by the beach. But the Auto Center, again, this is one of those things that you have to use your imagination for, because I'm gonna place that right there, and I'll pretend that this is another casino of some sort. Then we also have the Activity Plaza, and I think this is gonna be great, fronting the drinking area. First, we get you drunk, then we make you spend all of your money. And yet, by the time you leave, you still want to come back. Next up, we have the Fashion Square, which I think is going to be a really great fit right on this road. Then we have the Villa City 2, and I really like this asset, so I'm going to use 2 of them. Then we also have the Oasis Kitchen. Again, that's going to be a great fit right beside all of our drunk people. Now that we have these buildings in, I want to continue to split up these lots. And after you're done visiting the shopping center, come on down to the second Parkview eatery in the city, eat some food, have a good old bite, and then go gamble the rest of your money away. Or better yet, why don't you come on down to the Apple store and buy a bunch of brand new Apple products? Wait, did I say Apple? I meant, why don't you come on down to the Loon store and buy the brand new Loon Phone 5. Once you're done buying the new Loon Phone 5, I have a question for you. Do you like cheesecake? Because we got that too. Now let's continue this road through, and we'll fill this middle area with a bunch of pocket parks, because once you got your cheesecake or your new Loon Phone, you're gonna need somewhere to sit. And honestly, I'm surprised we still have commercial demand. What's even more impressive is that this district has 3,300 jobs. Now I'm thinking maybe we could pass this building off as a hotel. So let's get that added in right there. And right behind it, we could definitely add in the Platinum Center. And we'll send this pedestrian road down and get it connected back up with our main one. And the Square Center is gonna be a perfect fit. So let's place this right across from the conference hall. Now I think everything is looking really good, but I do think we're missing a more intimate strip. So imagine you're a pedestrian walking down this road, you look around you and it's just grass. There's quite literally no reason to walk down here other than to walk to all of our amenities, which is why I think a nice, intimate commercial strip along this pedestrian road, and in fact, in this entire lot, is gonna do really well. So I've gone ahead and put together a few buildings that I think are gonna work really well. Now this one isn't as intimate, but I still think it's gonna serve as a really nice focal point. Now let's take some of these favorites and just see which one fits. And I hate to say it, but I really like this one. It's just slightly too big though, but this actually feels somewhat Vegas-like to me. And there we go, that is looking really good. Right in the front, let's have the Majestic building. And right beside this, let's have the food station, but we're gonna remove all of the parking, because you should not be driving in these lots. Let's pull it closer to the pedestrian road. This is meant to feel intimate, so having this building's architecture on the pedestrian road definitely helps sell that just a little bit more. Now we have these little individual stores. They remind me of something you'd see in a downtown, so I'm just gonna place a few in. And a sports bar, how could we not have a sports bar? This area would definitely need a sports bar. And placing that in gives us milestone 13, we are now a huge city. And we unlock a few more buildings. Funny enough, we've actually reduced our profit from 160K to 115K. But Now we have 1,400 tourists per month, which is a million times better. But I want it to be even better. And because I want more room to zone, I'm going to break this up even further. Now let's get in the round office right in the middle of this lot. And I want to wrap this with a circular pedestrian road. And it's coming together again. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a bit worried once I started running out of buildings, so I'm really glad that I took the time to figure out what buildings I want to place in next. And I think what this area really needs is a bunch of fountains, because this should feel a little bit crazy. And what is this ugly surface? This is not Vegas. That is peasant. Uh-oh. Well, I've accidentally turned the grass into this entire thing. And I kind of broke my rule by detailing this park, but it's because I want to show you something really cool. So I downloaded these water jets, and when we place them in, we get water. Pretty cool. Maybe that's a bit too high, so we'll have to rework that one. But just wait, it gets even cooler in a second. Let's change the time of day to night. And now it starts to look really cool. The water is falling down over here, but if we move it over just a little bit, we can get something that's a little more sensible. And there we go, that's a little bit better. And it definitely helps sell the Vegas idea just a little bit more. Now, I don't want to let myself get any more distracted. We still have more buildings to place in before we can start detailing. And we have the Westwood Center, and this is a mixed-use commercial building, but I think it can be a really good fit here. Especially if we get a few of them like that, and if we add a pedestrian road right in the middle, that's going to give us the ability to add in parks. Helps make the area feel a little bit more intimate. Now, closer to our casino, let's add in this theater, and a few of these restaurant buildings. And Chipotle. We gotta have Chipotle. And AT&T, I mean, why not at this point in time? And Starbucks. But unfortunately, Starbucks wants a road connection, and I really don't want to give it to it. So Starbucks, you are hereby banned. And your replacement is going to be some Southwestern commercial. And this is going to be a great filler for any of these empty areas, because it's going to do the exact thing that I want it to. It's going to make the strip feel a bit more alive, and provide a bigger reason to actually walk down here. And just look at it now. Now it feels alive. Alexino Trejo. Let's see life from your perspective. And yeah, it seems really peaceful. Almost too peaceful. That's not what Vegas is. This should be crowded and crazy. I should feel overwhelmed just by looking at it. So let's add in a few more hotels. And I want to get these placed closer to the center. And then basically, all I want to do is turn this into a plaza. These buildings should have fountains in front of them. These buildings should feel very grand. So I'm going to quickly get that done with a pedestrian road and a few fountains. And I just love this so much. It looks so good and feels so alive. And wait a minute, why are you waiting for an ambulance? And you're waiting for an ambulance and a hearse. I honestly surprise myself sometimes. This district has no services. Let's add in the biggest clinic that we can, and that seems to be the San Diego Hospital. And what I really want to do is have this front the pedestrian road, because I could almost sell myself on this asset being a hotel. In fact, look, we have more upgrades. Oh, this would be amazing as a hotel. And we don't even have to worry about not enough customers because it's not actually a hotel. I'm getting ahead of myself. First, let's give this road access. And because I want this to look really good, I'm going to pull out these surfaces. And if you're anything like me, you hate making surfaces curved. The secret to doing it is using the North American Highway Edge line, parallel it by 1 unit, make your curve, then use the bucket tool to paste the surface in. and that'll give you a really nice curve with a surface. And as a frontage road, I'm going to give this building an alleyway, which is great because we have to provide alleyway access to these businesses anyways. That way we don't have transportation trucks driving down this road in order to give them their goods. And we would need some type of emergency services. So I will consider this prison-looking facility to be that service. And we can always make it a little bit more friendly by changing the color to a nice blue, and by getting rid of the prison fence. So what I want to do is I want to turn this lot into the place where most people are going to arrive, because right now we don't really have that place. So we can consider this to be the place where people get dropped off. So we'll need a nice little looping pattern, and it's probably going to be best if this is 2 lanes. And there isn't going to be any parking, because you aren't meant to park here. You're just meant to drive in, drop the people off, they're meant to go into this pedestrian road, and then you're supposed to leave and go do whatever else. That means I want to make this a nice, friendly, bright plaza. And this isn't meant to be a place where cars drive on the pedestrian roads. No, sorry, this isn't meant to be a place where people are supposed to hang out. I want you to be dropped off and then leave immediately, which means we're not going to add a whole bunch of parks. In fact, we're barely going to add trees, because I don't want these people getting any shade. And that's because if they have shade, then they'll be more inclined to stay. And that defeats the purpose. What, is our entertainment district not entertaining enough for you? And that is good to go. So now let's move on to the waterfront. And I don't really want to do too much here, because I really want the Kia form to stand out on its own. So I'm going to add a retaining wall around all of these pedestrian roads, and then I'm going to quickly go through and just clean all of it up. Now it looks like we're having a bit of an electricity problem. And just look at the traffic. It's so funny. Don't worry, we're gonna get that solved. What's going on with our electricity though? Well, that makes perfect sense. All of our electricity is being pulled through one transformer station, which means the low voltage wire right here is getting bottlenecked. And the best way to solve this is to add another transformer station. And I'm going to place this closer to our entertainment district. And now we're gonna run this underground. That right there should solve any bottlenecks, and yes, we're perfectly good to go. And I'm just loving how this is coming out. There's only a few more areas left, so let's quickly finish them. I want this entire road to just be basketball, because that's going to make more people come here, which is exactly what we need. Up here, I do want to make this a little bit more fancy. And this is going to become a really nice space for the community. Although it looks like I've broken something. Oh wait, it's just water. Oh no. What did I say last time? We should have perfect water and sewage, and we shouldn't have to worry, at least for a while. Yeah, well, past Loon is an idiot. So to help fix this, I want to add in the groundwater pumping station, and thankfully we have just a little bit of water within our tile. We'll get this connected into our 2-lane highway. I'm going to add on the extra pump and the advanced filtering system, just in case we run into some pollution problems. And back to this lot, I'm going to fill the rest of it with grass, and add in a few trees. And I just love that so much. And then for the lot beside it, we gotta have more commercial. We just don't have enough. And I want to turn this middle section into a plaza. And I do want real functioning parks in here. Now, somewhere along the way, I totally forgot that this district doesn't just need medical, it also needs all the other services. So I'll place the fire station right beside our little medical clinic, and that will be a little bit disruptive to the guests, but hey, they'll have amazing access to fire coverage. They'll never have to worry about their hotel burning down. And for police, I want to use the Mediterranean police station, because it just changes the entire look of this area, just helping to shake things up a bit. And this building's upgrade gives us more jail capacity and 20 more patrol cars. And I think we're definitely going to need that. And I'll set all of our services to focus on the entertainment district and the beach district. Now we're going to need death care, and thankfully we have the San Diego crematorium. which fits perfectly with the hospital. And I'm going to do a quick retcon. The police station is going to be here instead. That way we can place the crematorium right here. And that only leaves us with the rest of this plot. And we've basically used every signature building that'll fit. We might as well just turn this into a nice little walking park. And it's crazy because I haven't even detailed it yet, but honestly, I think this might be my favorite district ever. It just has so much life and so much character. But of course, it is missing the final polish. So for the final polish, really there's only one goal. I want to try and make this feel just a little bit more like Vegas, or an even premium entertainment district. So let's jump into detailing. And I swear this has to be my favorite district that I've ever created. It's just so unique. If this does not entertain the city, then I honestly don't know what will. We've got a bit of everything here. And you can also see that the beach is slowly starting to take shape. Now, how many tourists do we have? 863? That's it? Oh, okay, never mind, it's January. That makes a lot of sense. We basically have a negative modifier for tourism. So this number should skyrocket once the summer comes around. But the entertainment district has 5,190 employees, which rivals the industrial district over here. But I'd love to know, what do you think of the entertainment district? And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Today's shoutouts go to Gary Key, Jake Hill, Mississippi Mikey, Aiden Fernelski, Henry Vopel, Dylan Barnett, Sinan Ozdemir, Soyen x2, The Poop Sheriff, James Robinson 23, Narwhal, and to every single person who supports this channel. Seriously, I can't say thank you enough. If you want sneak peeks, access to the save files, and much more, you can join us over on Patreon or on YouTube. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one.